Veronica Perez. Who do you want to do a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to all the teachers of the world for their sacrifice, their information, their love, and their ability to help and stay in their strength. And also to my husband, because I wouldn't be here without his constant support and acceptance and love.
Awesome. Teachers and husband, here we go. Veronica. I'm happy to have you on today, Veronica Perez. Everybody, we're going to be talking today with Veronica about NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming. I love the subject. I'm glad we have an expert on here to talk about it. And if you've got questions about it or just want to say hello to either one of us, please put them in the comments and we will be talking about that right now. Veronica, tell me a little bit about NLP.
So NLP is really cool. I discovered it about it's gonna be 10 years ago. I was extremely sick. I had complex PTSD that was literally killing me. In and out of hospitals, doctors really couldn't give me a decent amount of this is what's wrong, this is what to do about it. And I finally had a heart attack. And it was one of the very cliche moments because we happened to have to pass a graveyard in order
Uh
to
huh.
get to the hospital. And I'm clutching my chest, and my husband's driving as fast as he can. And I look over, and there's a funeral that's going on with parents and little kids and putting somebody in the ground. And it's like, I can't do this. Like, I can't die. I've got 5 kids. And after that experience, somebody mentioned to me NLP. Didn't know what it was, started to look it up. And the first thing that comes up is a man named Richard Bandler, who is one of the co creators of NLP.
Okay.
And he's a little bit of a is a little bit of an asshole. He's got that hard side and speak that very well. So it was just magic to me. It made so much sense. Instead of trying to change a person and make them see that this is right and this is wrong and do this and don't do that, see what they're about. Learn their code. Learn how they think. Learn how, because NLP is essentially the study of success. You find somebody who's successful in something, as somebody who had schizophrenia that manages it or doesn't have it anymore, somebody that became that multimillionaire, somebody who overcame great adversity, whatever it is, and you get their code. You figure them out. You find the language patterns. What are their strategies? And once you get that strategy, if you can install that strategy in yourself, this
Yes.
person went through all of this to figure out how to be successful. And if they can give that to you and you install that in yourself, you too can be successful.
So, okay, so you were your first client. You were having this heart attack. You saw the funeral, and you decided to do NLP. What did you have to tell yourself that was freaking you out? What was freaking you out that made you so stressed that you had the heart attack? And what did you actually change so that you became better?
Good question. So I had a significant history of physical abuse, spiritual abuse, and sexual abuse. That's why they call it complex PTSD. It's one thing to have like a singular instance that is traumatizing to the neurology, and when you have multiple, it kind of stacks up on top of each other, and it creates a nightmare of an existence.
Mm-hmm.
What I ended up doing was a process within the NLP domain called timeline therapy in my training course. And what it does is it goes back, it's a form of what's called Gestalt therapy.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to the very first instance that your unconscious mind can give you of fear, anger, sadness, hurt, and guilt. And you go back to the first event. You get the learnings from your first event. Once you do that, it disconnects everything. So my brain, instead of going back and, oh, this thing outside me, all information comes in through the 5 senses. It has to get interpreted by the unconscious mind, belief systems, values, past learnings, all of the things. And then I get a response as a result of that. I had learned that life was fearful, painful. I was helpless. I had no control. I was a victim. So somebody had to save me if I was a victim, and nobody could save me. Hence,
Right.
I'd be on this planet. And with the release of the 5 major emotions, I was able to see clearly that I wasn't helpless, that There was that I could find a reason in what I went through, that I could transform that pain into power. And I was able to let so much go at an unconscious level that when something happened and my brain went to go pull a file for an appropriate response, all the old appropriate responses weren't there anymore. I had a
Gotcha.
choice on how I was going to act.
There's a couple of things that you've said, actually several things that you've said that just keep bringing up questions in my mind. But the first one is, did you have to change your words that you use? Did you change the body positions that you use? What did you change in this neurolinguistic programming to get you to where you are now?
Initially, I changed my perception,
Okay.
and that was the very first thing that has to change.
How
Actually,
did you do that? Like, what do you mean by you changed your perception?
so for instance, my mother, undiagnosed but narcissistic with psychopathic tendencies. um,
Okay.
would be the formal big words to use for it. So I saw that my perception was that I had a mother that didn't want me and hated me and thought I was just a burden and that destroyed her life. And that's very hard to walk around in a world thinking that you came in and destroyed a family, destroyed people. But that was the
Right.
perception that I had. I was able to switch that perception into, actually, I was supposed to be here and I needed this kind of struggle in my early upbringing because otherwise it wouldn't have taught me to go internal to find my strength inside. I would have been dependent on somebody else to make me feel safe, and it forced me to learn how to make myself feel safe.
So when you first realized that your perception of your mother was not good for you, did you have to say to yourself, that's not right, here's what I want to think? Or did you find someone else to model to do that? How did you get that negativity out of your brain?
The first thing I did is I used timeline therapy to relieve the pain.
Hmm.
I was able to sit back because NLP is about the code. The code of the unconscious mind is images, symbols, and pictures. It's not words. It's why we can struggle with daily affirmations and not see the results that we want, because we're not talking to the part of the brain that runs the show in its natural language.
Right.
So the first thing was to relieve that and get some clarity on it, to step outside of the movie. So instead of re-experiencing in the first person a traumatic event, I'm looking at it like it's happening to me, but I'm in this movie. And from that place, I don't have the same emotions that I do when I'm actually reliving it. And from that position, I can get new learnings. I can get clarity, which then allows me to change my perception. Once that's changed, then I can be cognizant of my body language. I can be cognizant of the words that I am speaking and what I'm creating by speaking those words.
Hmm. Now, when you step outside your body and you're watching this movie of your life the way that it is, are you getting your perceptions from other people that you want to model, copy, be like? Or a lot of the psychics that I talk to have spirits that talk to them about what is either coming up or how they can change. What is your experience with getting that new reality?
Initially, and what it needs to be, my personal belief, feel free to dismiss it if it doesn't apply. Your unconscious mind was the part of you that decided to hold on to this. The unconscious mind, and it the unconscious mind loves you so much you will run out of body parts to fail before it gives up trying to get through to you. So I got to ask the unconscious mind, what is it that you want me to learn so that I can let this go? And my unconscious mind, it's the first impulse. It's a conscious activity referring to the unconscious mind. My unconscious mind will give me the information. It will give me what I need, and when I finally hear it, it can go, okay, you get it. You won't repeat this mistake because my job is to protect you. I know you got the real lesson here. I can let this go now. We're good. And then the emotion can fade. I don't need to hold on to old emotion anymore. And
Yeah,
then, yes, there's spirits and guides. They help me out and they guide me a lot. But a lot of times, that guidance is saying, listen to yourself. You're talking, your unconscious mind, that pain that you're having is trying to tell you something. Ask it. What are you trying to tell me so it doesn't have to keep poking you?
Good, good. So, if you were to work with somebody else, because I know you teach classes in this now, um, what is the first thing that someone needs to do if they want to get rid of some negativity in their life and change?
Oh, well, it depends on the negativity. Are we
Okay.
talking about a physical illness, a mental illness, a PTSD trauma event? Are we talking about money blocks? It really depends on what specifically they're looking for. But the first thing we have to do is get down to root cause. Root cause
So,
is
if we're talking about that, that's actually that's really interesting because let's say you're talking about a tumor in the body versus somebody who's got a an illness like a I don't know a flu or cold or something even more desperate than that versus somebody who wants to oh I don't know make more money. So that's three different things, and you have to find three different causes for that, right?
mhm.
Okay. So how would you deal with somebody with a physical problem like tumors?
Physical problem is going to be definitely getting to the unconscious mind. Tumors and cancer, I practice something called metamedicine, which is in essence everything that happens in the body is a reflection of what's going on up here. So tumors and cancers, these are malignant cells. Malignant cells are an indication of internal conflict. There's
Hmm.
internal conflict. We need to find the parts of what's being fought in the person. I'm good, I'm bad, I'm worthy, I'm not, I deserve to be loved, or I don't deserve to be loved, yet people love me. I don't know what to do with that. So we isolate, and there's a process, there's questions to ask, there's some digging to do to get down to what the specific internal conflict is.
So those conflicts, because I've heard this so many times that you can create disease, you can get rid of disease
Mhm.
by with your mind. And I don't understand how to do it, but I know that you do, and other people do. Is it through meditation, those sorts of things, or is it through the words that we speak? How do you get rid of the money block, the body tumor, the illness? Is it with words, meditation? What is it?
Alignment.
Okay.
Alignment
Aligning
is
what?
the biggest thing because we have alignment. In order to get to alignment, we have to have some kind of acceptance.
Okay.
And with that acceptance comes a certain level of surrender. If we can be okay with what is, not okay and with what is, as in like, oh, I can't complain because I have so many things to be grateful for. Gratitude is very important, but not in such a way where we are using it to distract ourselves from what is. This is what is. I can be okay with that. I can be okay with it changing. I am okay. I have always been okay. I wouldn't be here having this conversation or worrying about this illness or this block if I wasn't okay. No, 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 I'm not okay. No way. You don't understand what's going on inside me. Uh huh. But it's an emotion. An emotion is part of your internal guidance system. It's trying to guide you. Anger is trying to tell you, hey, a boundary's been crossed. You're not getting it the way you want it. Should you get it the way you want it, or is this something that you need to let go? Fear, something is unknown. You better face that or move away for it, or that fear is going to be there. Hurt, harm is being done to you. Move away from it or make it stop. Guilt, you did something wrong. Learn from that instance. Don't do it again. Sadness, you've lost something, process that loss, not a repression of it, not I'm not supposed to feel this, oh I should be grateful, this isn't a big deal, other people are suffering. No, I am feeling sad, and that's
Yeah.
okay. There's a reason. Let this pass through me.
So part of NLP is observing the thing, whatever it is,
Yep.
realizing what it really is, and then releasing it.
Yep.
Gotcha. I I love that. We're gonna try that with me one of these days with snakes.
Yes. Oh, there's
Yes.
something called the phobia model. It's magic. I've used it a few times with like the first time I ever used it, a woman was terrified of spiders. I mean, like terrified, choking, can't breathe, terrified of spiders. We used the phobia model with her, and no more fear. Now she's the one that her husband calls to come get the spider.
That's awesome. Well, I live in Florida and there's snakes all over the place. So Somehow I'm going to have to find you, and we're going to do the snake model, fake phobia model on me with snakes. So that will be awesome to do.
That was-
Okay. Now I know that you have a class that you actually teach people, and I want you to talk about that a little bit and how people can get in touch with you. We've got your website that we can show people, which is lightninghorseschools.com, and on there you've got your NLP classes coming up. What else can people do, and what should they be looking for from you?
You can also go to lhthehealingground.com. It's Lightning Horse the Healing Ground. We do a lot of classes through that. I do weekend workshops, and then I do one 7-day full certification practitioner training. One of the things I want to teach in it is, or I do teach in it first and foremost, is this is how your brain works, guys. This is the code. It's a computer. Your
Hmm.
unconscious mind is a great big computer, and it runs the show 97% of the time. It's why people can get so frustrated with the secret and manifestation and things like that, because I'm doing it. Yes, this little 3% part of your frontal cortex is absolutely focusing on what you want, but the unconscious mind, what are the beliefs you hold there? Are you in alignment?
Yes.
I deserve to make money. It's safe to make money. The what we speak is very important, because when we speak, just imagine your unconscious mind like your overeager little brother and sister with no sense of humor, that takes everything literally and just wants to serve. And
Gotcha.
here's you.
Gotcha. No, I remember when The Secret came out and they did the giant campaign for it, like what is the secret? And then we finally learned about the law of attraction and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people just like try to imagine I'm rich, or imagine I've got this trip I'm going on, or imagine that they're not sick, and it's not working for them. But what I hear you saying is you've got to get to the root of it. You've got to talk to the subconscious and get that to out of the way.
Hmm. Everything stems from the unconscious mind. If the
Okay.
unconscious mind believes that the spiritual domain is dangerous, you're going to have a really hard time connecting to your gifts. You know,
Gotcha.
you've got to figure out what programs the unconscious mind are running. Keep you in mind that the programs the unconscious mind run, no matter how bad they are — I hate you, you deserve to die, you suck, nobody loves you, you're worthless — all the mean, nasty things that we hear rolling around in our head — that is actually for a positive purpose. That is the unconscious mind trying to protect you, trying to keep you safe in some way. The unconscious mind has 13 prime directives. The main one is to preserve and maintain the well-being of the body. If you are miserable and depressed and there is no light in life at all and you are alive, the unconscious
Hmm.
mind is doing its job.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're just gonna have to get together, and I'm gonna have to get with you about this. I've got so many people I want to push towards you so they understand what you're saying. Veronica Perez, thank you so much for being on the show. I definitely want to have you back on. Go out there and kill it. I love that. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thank you.